Black magic.
You got to know, got to show, it's time to roll. So just tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you want, so just tell me what you want to hear.
Welcome back, kiddies, to another episode of RatG TV with your hosts, Zeus and the Wellandwingnut. And they thought I was the crazy one.
Wow, welcome back, everybody. A little bit off on the intro there. But how is everybody today? It is your boy Zeus, and along with me every week, as he is week to week, it's my boy, the Wellandwingnut. Steve, how's it going, brother?
Good, man. How are you?
Well, surviving another one. Getting started a little late. Marley Loves Films. What's up, Marley? How you doing? Marley Loves Film. Go follow Marley over on TikTok. Good guy over there. Has got some great content. And thank you for tuning in, and to everybody else. And today we are talking sports, yo. This is the greatest time of the year for me. Basketball starting, hockey starting. We're in the baseball playoffs. The only time of the year I really like baseball.
Agreed.
Football is full swing right now. We're starting to know whether our fantasy football teams are shit or not. If we're buyers or sellers, we're starting to think that way right now. But with all that in mind, this being the premier time of year, if you're a sports geek like Steve and I, we thought, hey, what a better time to do the best sports calls of all time. And there's a lot of great ones. I'm sure we've missed some, but folks, if you can think of one, let us know. We'll put it up in the comments there. If we can find it online, we'll even play it for you. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. Steve and I are both going to do our top 5 sports calls of all time.
Yeah, man. It's going to be fun.
Nice. I'm getting reminders on my phone right now saying, be ready to start at 6:05. It's 6:10 right now. Phone.
Yeah, I was going to say 6:10.
Little late.
A little bit. Jays are up 8-1 right now, so they're looking a lot better than they did last night. Yeah, I know. I've got it on in the background actually right now.
I know. I didn't realize what time that game was. I was going to put some money on the Jays today.
Yeah, I put some on them yesterday and lost all of it. So today was the day that you wanted to bet on the Jays because you knew they were going to come out swinging, and that they are. Those of you that are watching on Ryan's All Things Geek, you're probably thinking, what's with all this sports talk? We've said since day one, if you're a fan of ours, here on Ryan's All Things Geek, we cover all things geek. Anything you can geek out to. And listen, they talk about sports fans, and they are fanatics. You want to talk about geeking out. We cosplay as geeks and stuff like that. You ever gone to a sports game? A sports game. Am I like old man?
A Raiders game. A Raiders game.
A Raiders game. An Eagles game. A Vikings game.
No, don't go to an Eagles game.
Don't go to an Eagles game.
Don't do that.
No.
Yeah. Well, this year you might want to though, because
right.
Wow.
They've kind of had a bit of a soft schedule though, so let's not crown them yet.
No. We're not crowning their asses yet there, Dennis Green. But oh my God, how did I? Well, and that's going to be, I think we'll do that another time too.
That's a separate one, yeah.
That is a definite, because there are so many great sports bites in the world. And that's one that I think of right off. It's not the first one, but that's always in my top.
You're talking playoffs?
We'll just be happy to win in a game. What are we talking about? Practice? What other MVP just coming off the bench talking about practice?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. I am the greatest of all time. I will eat his children. Praise be Allah.
You win.
Mikey had some great ones. So we will do that one day for sure. But today we're going to do our top 5 sports calls. You let us know what your favorites are. And then, of course, we've also got This Week in Geek, where we're going to cover all the news in the world of pop culture for you, as we do week to week. We have, of course, reviews from the very successful 11th annual Welland Zombie Walk. which went off without a hitch. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, great turnout. Brampton Batman was a hit. Knight Rider was there, a hit. And the band, oh my God.
Yeah, Toadstool and the Ghouls.
Toadstool and the Ghouls. Headed by Frank Kreitz and Scotty Cooper.
Sure.
So, yeah, man. Whoa, what is Dwayne Cooper and Mike Krakow, the best broadcasters in baseball? Well, you're gonna have to let us know who they're from.
Yeah, who do they call?
Canadian, so
do they do the nationwide? Do they do local, like regional?
Because like we're from the Niagara region in Ontario, so we know a lot of stuff from Ontario, but
and upstate New York.
Yeah, and New York, and we know the national stuff. By the way, this is the long weekend. Whatever you celebrate, we're happy for you. But if you're spending time with family, we're even more happy for you. And I'm just gonna do a little cheers to that. So, what are you guys doing this fine weekend?
We're just gonna take in some football. Bengals got the Sunday night game this week, so
Who are you guys playing?
Ravens. So battle for first place.
Ooh.
After our 0-2 start, here we are, week 5, with a shot at taking sole possession of first place in our division. So I'm pretty happy.
Who's your biggest rival in your division? Like, who's the one team? Because there's like, you hate all the teams in your division, but who's the team you hate the most in your division?
Yeah, I've never had hate for Cleveland. I
always sucked.
For years, I felt bad for Browns fans, and they've turned it around the last few years. They've been competitive, at least, inconsistent, but competitive. But yeah, the Steelers, it's got to be the Steelers. We've had so many heated games. There's been multiple rule changes in the NFL as a result of Bengals, Steelers games. So
what about Baltimore?
Yeah, Baltimore's pretty much kicked our ass since their inception in 1999 or whatever that was.
Yeah, they're basically Cleveland, but yeah. And Marley's saying they do the Giants baseball games, so that's Giants baseball for life. Did they have the Barry Bonds call when he broke Hank Aaron's home run record? And whatever, I don't. All I know is how do they keep how do they keep him out of the Hall of Fame, but he's in the Hall of Fame? If you go to Canton and you walk around, there's Barry Bonds with the home run record and all these other records.
I joke, but I'm actually one of the guys that have always said, you know what? You do all the steroids you want. That is not going to give you the ability to hit a 104-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah. Yeah. And the only argument that I will allow against that, I should say that I will allow, but someone had replied to you, but it will change it from, going 200 yards to 400 yards.
For sure.
Yeah. And that's definitely what happened with Bonds. But to be fair, if anyone was watching baseball at that time, I'm a diehard Bonds fan, so I'm biased.
Yeah. Back from the
he was going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer before he started doing. He was a Triple Crown winner. He was a Gold Glove winner, and he was the epitome of To me, it was him and Ken Griffey Jr. were the two greatest players I had ever seen in my life when it came to baseball. And right now it's Shohei Ohtani.
And Cal Ripken.
Cal Ripken, I wouldn't say he was the greatest player of all time. I'd say maybe the most respected. But, I mean, and he had the longevity. Yeah. But he was never that guy that you're like, oh, my God, you're worried because Cal's coming up the bat. Like, you knew he could get a hit.
He was consistently above average.
Right. And that's what I'll give him. I'll say a legend, first ballot Hall of Famer. But
how many no hitters?
Yeah, Nolan. Yeah. Now we're going off on a tangent here, but yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And he says that was his favorite call was the Barry Bonds call. That was a great call. I didn't even think to put that one up there. I should have. And then there was the great call from Joe Buck during the playoffs that one year when Dusty Baker's son was the bat boy and he was at home plate as they were running home and the throw was coming to home and he was in the way. And so like one of the players, I forget who the player was, had to actually grab him and move him out of the way so he didn't get smoked. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I remember that one.
It was a great one. So we've got all that we're going to talk about. Steve, you got your 5-second movie review this week. You've got the reboot of one of your all-time favorite movies, Hellraiser.
Yeah, it's. Oops.
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had it or not. Hellraiser debuted on Hulu in the States, in Canada. You know, we had to do what we had to do, but you know, I said this. I was chatting with our friend Steve McGinnis, great friend of the show, great artist. Check out his stuff, Steve Horror Art Illustrations. It rivals the original. I love Doug Bradley. To me, he is the epitome of the Hellraiser franchise. He is the greatest Pinhead. He is the greatest Cenobite. But they did this movie right. It was for the fans. It was just, it had everything.
See, and everything that I've read that this is a great movie in the franchise, and most people say it rivals or that it is the actual best out of them all, which is, I mean, you're the expert there. I can't say. I think I've seen. Yeah,
it'd be tough to make an argument against that statement, to be honest.
Yeah, that's pretty bold. So I guess we kind of know where you may go with your review later. But stick around anyways for that. We do have the 5-second movie review.
We have a question in the audience.
No, I don't know
Facebook user 563. What's up?
I don't know his name, but the actor that was best dance teacher in This Is Us. I don't know his name, but he's really good. He's in it. I like him.
I haven't watched This Is Us since season 3 or so. When Kevin was getting into drugs again.
I know the one that was best at dance teacher. She's little. That guy.
Who did he play? Don't
Don't
say anything.
He's really good actor. I really like him.
She's
I
the
don't know his
queen.
name.
She's the
I don't know his
spoiler
name.
queen.
I don't know his
He
name.
is Tom Holland.
You're right.
He's really good, but I don't know his name.
She is the Tom Holland of our.
It's funny. Amber saw someone she knew, and we were at Costco in Niagara Falls, and she's like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Is the baby here?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, what did you guys name her?" And he's like, "Maeve." And right away we're like, "Oh, the boys, Queen Maeve."
Yeah, Queen Maeve.
And she's like, "Oh, because of the boys?" He's like, no, but I mean, yeah, it's the same, I guess. I'm like, come on. You're telling me that did, but I've never heard that name until the boys. I know it's an older name.
Yeah.
It's common in the early 1900s, but
he's one of my regular customers, and he just said, "Oh, hey," I'm like, "Oh, I haven't seen him in a couple days." Yeah, her name's Maeve. I'm like, that's a cool name. But yeah. So,
you sure he didn't say Nave?
No, he said Maeve.
Nave.
As we go
I
on,
don't know the actual meaning of the word knave. I just know it means a bad person usually. That knave person. Anyway, so that's what's going on. We've got news. We've got Hellraiser. We've got we've just got a lot, folks. We've got a lot for you tonight. And as always, we ask you to chime in with any of your opinions, comments. And I got to say, I'm a little shocked we haven't heard from Luke Tuff yet. But just in case, let's see if we can call him by.
yeah. Clan Shark. You say it 3 times, maybe he'll appear.
Oh, there's Luke. No. But yeah, so that's what's going on, folks. So we're going to do that. I am just checking on one last thing here. Almost done. I don't know the order that you're going in, sir, for your top picks. But the video that we're waiting for, is that your number one?
Yeah, I'll probably go with number one for that one.
Okay, so we have time for that.
Yeah,
we have time for that.
Well,
so.
you do yours first, so it gives it more time.
Are you sure? I've never gone first before. I feel so.
You won the coin flip today.
Did I? It feels like
and you did not. You did not deter.
It did not. I did not deter. Did I?
Yeah.
Did I not?
You did not defer the kick.
I should have. I really should have. What was I thinking? All right. Well, my first one here. We're gonna play it up. We're gonna have them up here. And YouTube's probably gonna give us shit and other things, but. Listen, you can't do these calls without hearing them. And you know what? We're going to see them too. But Steve and I will be up here at the same time. My first one, I'm not the hugest golf fan in the world at all. But to me, every time I think of golf, the first thing I think of is this call that came way back in the day, courtesy of Tiger Woods.
Well, here it comes.
But that's the logo.
Oh,
The
my
logo is
goodness.
right there. Watch.
Oh, wow. In your life, have you seen anything like that?
So that was my number 5. I mean, that's iconic, whether you're a golf fan
for
or not.
sure.
Yeah. And you were a bit of a golf fan, right?
What's that?
You were a bit of a golf fan back in the day, right?
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Like, it's weird because golf is usually one of those things you come into later in life, unless you're, someone who's, grew up with the game and trying to go pro or whatever. And I've kind of fallen out of it. Obviously, time's an issue. It's not cheap to go golfing, but
No.
I grew up golfing. I started golfing around grade 7. A friend of mine's stepdad used to take us all the time, and Eastdale had a golf team, so I was on the golf team.
Do you remember? I've only went golfing once in my life ever, and it was with you and I think Brad Dulce and a couple guys. And this is high school era. You were on the high school golf team. I had never golfed before except for one time going out to a driving course with my grandfather, and he lost his shit on me because I pulled the honeymooners thing. He's like, address the ball, and I said, hello, ball. And my grandfather lost his shit, and not in a good way. But I came in second to last that day, and the only person I beat was you.
Yeah, I'm one of those golfers that once the game is in my head, one bad shot, one sand trap, and my temper takes over, and the rest of my game is shit.
Fair enough. Well, there you go. So that was our long story to go along with Tiger Woods there, and well-deserved Tiger Woods, I think. Up next on my list here is what do we got here? These were also hard, these ones for me to choose from. So believe it or not, number 4 here is one of, and I'm not even a fan of this. Well, I mean, I'm a fan of this team for my grandfather because he was. But this was a moment as a Canadian, the second year around, where it was even more impressive than the first year. At least the call was.
Here's the pitch on the way. A swing and a belt. Left field. Way back. Blue Jays win it. The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run in the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays have repeated as World Series champions. Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Just for that one. Touch them all, Joe. Like, that's what I searched for that video. I'm just searched touch them all because that's what you remember, right?
Well, one of the great baseball games and calls of all time, for sure.
And that team was stupid stacked.
Yeah.
Like we're talking Joe Carter, Robbie Alomar, Devon White. Oh my God, they had this wasn't the year they had Dave Winfield. They had him the year before, right?
Was Paul Malter there?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly Gruber.
Yeah.
Gruber with the tag on that triple play that was not allowed. John fucking Olerud, the most boring man ever to live, but one of the best first basemen. Yeah, man, it was such an iconic call, an iconic memory. 8-4 Blue Jays. Oh, wow, you're ahead of me. That's because my game's freezing up here. I still showing 8-2 in the top of the 6th, but I guess somebody's going to hit a home run here. Anyways, so that was my next one there. And again, these get so hard because of our bias, and we want to go with the shit that we love from the teams that we love. But man, I've got 3 here, and I don't know how I want to put them. And
It's one the no goal.
You know what? Too soon, dude. Too soon.
Sorry.
He's like, that was 1999. So too soon. All right. You know what? I'm going to go with this one. only because we didn't end up winning the championship later. But I got to tell you, this felt like we won the Super Bowl in this moment right here. It's the Minneapolis Miracle. This is the hometown radio.
At their own 39, it's third down. 3 receivers right, Thielen left. Marshawn Lattimore 12 yards from Adam. Case on a deep drop, steps up in the pocket. He'll fire to the right side, caught by Diggs. Stay up! Oh my God! 30! Touchdown! Are you kidding me? It's a Minneapolis Miracle! Stephon Diggs and the Minnesota Vikings have walked up on the New Orleans Saints. It's a 61-yard Minneapolis Miracle. I can't believe.
Dude. Oh, and now I'm just thinking, I forgot one to put on there, and it was when the Cubs won the World Series. That should have made this list as a Cubs fan. But it's so hard to remember them all. But this one, I mean, as a Vikings fan, and that's the team that I've been with longer than any other team. The Sabres are close, but I didn't start watching hockey until 88. And I started watching football 85-ish. 85. It was the year the Bears won the Super Bowl. So that's how I always remember.
That's one of those games that I remember where I was for that game.
Which one was the Vikings game?
I was in Jamaica for a mutual friend of ours' wedding, and everybody had gone for a week. Amber and I we couldn't get take that much time off work, so we'd just gone for 3 days. 4 days. And 2 of those days we spent in our room watching playoff football.
It was freaking awesome.
And that's where I was. Everybody's like, "Where's Steve and Amber?" Like that, they're only here for a couple of days. Like, we did all the wedding stuff, and you know what I mean. Yeah. And then it was playoff football, and that's where I was.
We just drank our
I was in Ochos Rios.
Awesome. It was awesome.
Going, "Oh my god! Oh my god!"
Ochos Rios cheering on Ocho Cinco.
It was awesome. So much fun. That's all we do.
Too funny. All right. Well, up next. These two this is tough. This one's tough for me. Because one's a team that I've been a fan of forever, and the other one I've been a fan of since their inception, but it hasn't been that long. So it's tough, but I'm gonna have to go. We're talking. This is my number 2, and yeah, I understand this was the bigger moment, but the other one was a bigger moment for me personally. So, but this one was still awesome. Marv Albert.
Got to be aware of the inbounder here if you're Philly.
It's off to Leonard, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger? Game! Series! Toronto has won!
And that wasn't even the NBA championship winning basket. That was just to move on to go on to the championships. But still, what an iconic moment. That year was just awesome. I don't care if you're a basketball fan or not. I think if you're from Canada, you had to be pretty impressed with that run.
Yeah, they became Canada's team for sure.
Yeah. We, the North. Too bad we couldn't keep Kawhi. I think we could have repeat.
It's one of those things too, like you said. Sometimes it's
sorry, Kevin Harlan. You're right. Sorry, Kevin Harlan.
Winning the conference championships and moving on to the finals is such a huge accomplishment and such a huge moment. A lot of teams, they fall flat when it comes for the championship, right?
Especially if you come off a big win like that. That's almost like winning the championship there, much like the Minneapolis Miracle. When we beat New Orleans, I said, we're going to have a tough time winning next week because that felt like we just won the Super Bowl there. And it's a whole lot. That's for sure. Kevin Harlan is the GOAT. Kevin Harlan is definitely up there. There's so many great GOATs in NBA play calls though. But for me, there's only one GOAT in all of play, and I don't. You can say this is biased, but no, man. Like to me, this is the greatest fucking announcer of all time. It's not just this call I could have used. There's so many I could have used. It could have been La 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 Fontaine, or these boys are good, scary good, or and the Sabres win it in overtime. Ladies and gentlemen,
I would put the games on Fox and turn the radio on and turn the announcers down.
yes, and it's so sad that this was his last year of us having Rick Jenneret, the great Buffalo Sabres play-by-play commentator. He made it into their Hall of Fame. Like, he is that important. He's right up there. Harry Carey, Vince Scully, and fucking Rick Jenneret. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the call that made me a Sabres fan.
LaFontaine makes the play, and then Brad May does the rest of it. Let's watch. Was that Mogilny or was it me? That was Brad May. What a sensational overtime goal to win it for Buffalo. May puts it between the legs of Grayborg, takes the shot, freezes a goaltender, and drives it in.
Like, wow.
To dance around one of the all-time great NHL defensemen as well to make that play.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Ray Bork, I mean, he's right up there. And it's not fair that Boston keeps getting these Hall of Fame fucking generational defensemen. They had Bobby Orr, Ray Bork, Zdeno Chara. Did they have coffee for a while too, or was he just in Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh and Edmonton, right?
Yeah, it's Pittsburgh, Detroit.
Well, he played in Detroit too. That's right. He played for those losers.
Yeah.
I'm totally.
He was part of the Shanahan trade. So that paid
Shanny. Getting a little Shanny on. Okay, well, you know what? We've got your number one video up as well. I just don't I'm just trying to scrub it ahead a bit there. And all right, so that was my top 5. Any of those on there that shocked you?
I assumed you'd have a Rick Jenneret because, like you said, he's definitely top 3 for sure. All-time announcers, if not the best.
I tried to find a Harry Carey clip from the club. A specific one. So you know our buddy Scott Bullitt played for the Welland Pirates, went on to play for the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Cubs, the Jays, and moved back to Welland where he met his wife. So which was fantastic. They have a daughter. They have many kids, but when they had their daughter, when he was playing for the Cubs, Harry Carey, live on the air, says, "We here would like to wish Scott Bullitt and his daughter congratulations on their new baby." So he basically said that Scott Bullitt and his daughter had a baby together. It made the front page news of the Chicago Tribune. Let's just put it this way. Harry Carey was drunk every night. And we loved him for it.
We loved him for it, for sure.
All right, so that's my top 5. What do you got, buddy? Let's get you started. And do you want to have your own videos, or do you want me to do it?
You can play them. I think I've got them written down here in the order you have them. So, no particular order except for my number 1. This first one to me is still probably one of the greatest Super Bowls I've ever watched in my life. Came down to the very last second.
And the last rip Steve McNair.
As happy as I was for Kurt Warner, such a great story. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah, I felt really bad for Steve McNair at that point. I mean, that was a tough one. And then was he murdered?
Oh, jeez, I don't know.
Was he shot? I feel like he was shot and killed.
Yeah,
I know he's not. I know he's not with us anymore, though.
No,
I forget offhand. All right, one of our fans will let us know, I'm sure. Niners. Oh yeah, that I almost put the Niners the catch up there. The John Clark catch, though, not the Taylor one years later. A couple years later.
To hurt me.
Yeah. Oh,
to hurt me.
What? It was great though. I mean, if you're not a Bengals fan.
Yeah.
Speaking of great plays, this next one, I love your next one here.
Yeah, this was one of the ones where, we grew up watching SportsCenter. They'd always have the top 10. And this was always one of my favorite ones to watch because obviously it was a little before our time.
Yeah. Not much, though.
No, not much, but we were
Harmon will probably try to squib it, and he does. Ball comes loose, and the Bears have to get out of bounds. Rodgers along the sideline, another one. They're still in deep trouble at midfield. They tried to do a couple of... The ball is still loose as they get it to Rodgers. They give it back now to the 30. They're down to the 20. Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going to go out of
that dude gets taken out.
Oh, my God. The most amazing.
Let's see that one more time.
Send it to America's Funniest.
Like, oh my God. And you're right. Like every year or every time they do the top 10 crazy moments or whatever, that would always crack it on there. And great pick.
Yeah.
Now that's a memorable call that I can hear in my head ahead of time. Mm-hmm. Like as soon as you sent that to me, you're like, oh, the band's on the field. And I'm like, oh, I hear it. The band is on the field. The band is on Your next pick, same deal.
Yeah.
Soon as it was one that I had on my list too, and I took it off. But I mean, it's an iconic fucking call. But
I grew up.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I grew up on Saturday and Sunday afternoons. We'd have the Wide World of Sports.
Yes.
They show older stuff. My dad would always be watching that. That's how I became a fan of boxing. And I remember watching this one. It's like you said, it's one of those ones you hear in your head when someone mentions it, right?
Yeah. And let's hear it.
Chief Dundee, Ali's trainer, right next to me is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. The heavyweight champion is taking the mandatory 8 count, and Foreman is as poised as can be in a neutral corner.
Howard Cosell, one of the great play callers of all time, until he said something really fucking stupid on the air.
Yeah.
We
weren't shocked. Nobody was shocked. Nobody was shocked. We were more shocked to find out that he was really good friends with Muhammad Ali after everything he had said.
Right?
But great call. Yeah, and a lot of people actually think that that's actually Muhammad Ali taking out Frazier in that when they hear that clip, but that's because they're dumb.
Yeah,
they had Muhammad Ali's trainer was in the corner he was there, and one of the reporters was talking, one of the commentators were talking to him and talking about him right before that moment happened. So a lot of people just, when they see the clip, they assume. But yes. Not bad.
Yeah, I've always made an argument for Foreman as being, maybe not greater than Muhammad Ali, but
he's one of the great heavyweights of all time.
I think he doesn't get as much credit as he deserved. The guy was just a monster. Like he never sat during rounds. He'd always go into the corner, lean on the ropes.
Did he do that in his comeback when he won the title again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, every one of his kids' name is George, though. Let's talk that.
Right?
Like even
five boys named George and 2 girls, Georgina and Georgetta.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Narcissist.
That's fucked
up. Thank you for the George Foreman grill. We owe you. We owe you a debt of gratitude.
Oh my God, my college years wouldn't have survived without the Foreman grill.
Right.
Like, you ever made like craft dinner and like put it in a in a bread and your Foreman grill. So good. So good.
Was that 4?
That was 4. So this is your next one.
All right. So the next one, like you said, as a sports fan, especially when a franchise has waited so long to win. At the time, this was the longest stretch without a Stanley Cup for any team.
Left in them in what has been a magical season.
Well, I thought you wanted that.
Oh.
This is number 4.
Oh,
you
this
want,
is number 4.
Yeah.
I thought that was 4. That's what, yeah.
No, this is 4.
Right.
Do you want me to go to the hockey one first or this?
No, you can just play that one.
Well, we'll play this one. Just watch it, folks.
If they do, they need it now. Christie kicks it high and short. Going to be fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25.
Yeah,
pitches it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson.
He's got something.
30,
He's got
40,
something.
50.
He's got it.
40.
He's got it.
20. 10.
He's got it.
End zone. Touchdown Titans. There are no flags on the field. It's a miracle. Tennessee has pulled a miracle.
So the Music City Miracle. Forward pass or no?
Yeah, that is it's definitely as a Bills fan, I feel for you.
Like as a Buffalo fan, period.
As a Buffalo fan, yeah, they've had so many
No
heartbreakers.
goal.
Wide right, no goal, the Music City Miracle, but that's one of those ones where, like you said, I remember where I was watching that game. I was at a mutual friend's house of ours, guys I knew that shared a place, and we were watching the playoffs. And I was like, this game's over. And I got up to walk, and you had to walk down this hallway and around the corner to the fridge to get a beer. And as I was opening the fridge, I hear, "He's got it! He's got it!" And I come running back, and I was like, "Oh my God.
What happened?"
So I heard the call, but I missed the play. I missed seeing it live at least.
Well, I'm sure you saw this next one live. You being the diehard Wings fan that you are.
Yeah, this is one, like I said, I watched this one at home alone because the anxiety level was at an all-time high. We had so many heartbreakers leading up to this one.
Well, here you go for the Wellandwingnut. This is his number 1.
Near side, Detroit killed it off, cleared out by Draper, who just came out of the ball.
Sorry, a little far in that one.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
On the verge of a sweep. Put one on the bench. It'll stop the clock at 26.9.
Eagerman.
And it had to be at home, to have this one at home.
Oh, yeah.
Teams will be going with their second
Was this where the
choices of
octopus,
units
did
here.
the octopus already started this
30
play?
seconds.
Yeah.
26.9 does not seem nearly long enough. The Detroit Red Wings will win the Stanley Cup.
Off the face-off.
They're already wearing the hat.
I know, right? Could you imagine?
Cleared back out Detroit. Desjardins shot. Vernon save. Score! Score!
Now, were you worried at all when this happened?
Seconds left to go.
I went from total elation
The extra
to
skater makes
just
it a 2-1 game.
Hey,
everything sucked out of me.
And Mikey Vernon. I forgot you guys had Vernon.
8 seconds. It is definitely possible. The Flyers will have the extra skater. And the Flyers have done something that they haven't been able to do this entire game. Get anything by Mike Vernon. Good screen in front. Nicholas Lidstrom right here tried a bank shot off the boards. Didn't get it out. Good keep by Desjardins at the point. It went off the post after a deflection in front. And Eric Lindros has his first goal of the series. It won't happen easy for the Detroit Red Wings, and the Flyers are still alive. Here we go now.
Scotty Bowman, the great Buffalo Sabres coach.
Still the extra skater, of course. Cleared out the center. Under 10 seconds left to go. And a whistle. And they're going to have to set the clock again here, I think.
You should have went a little bit farther.
That, of course, is the handshake.
There you go. We'll just take it back.
Congratulations.
The two captains.
Out of the Motor City.
I gotta tell you, I hated Eric Lindros.
Same.
I was not a Lindros fan. I remember a guy we went to high school with who was a really good hockey player. He had to quit our football team because he was doing so well in hockey. Or we would have had another really good quarterback playing for us. Him telling us that he did a hockey training camp, and he was one of the instructors there. And Brett Lindros was there. I think Ty Domi maybe, and Eric Lindros and Gilmore maybe. I forget who was all there. He said Eric Lindros showed up just on the last day for the day that he was supposed to be doing his thing and didn't sign any autographs and left. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely gives me great pleasure to know that I was a fan of the team that killed his only shot.
And I became a fan of Scott Stevens because of his
right.
Sorry, Eric. All right, so that's it. Hope you guys like those. If you have any other calls that you like, let us know. Put them in the comments there. If not, forever hold your peace. And cues. That's it. So, we did the Welland Zombie Walk.
Yeah, Welland Zombie Walk was a huge success. We had a new venue this year at the Market Square. So, you just never know with these events how many people are going to show up. And Welland really showed up, and we collected a ton of food donations for Pets Alive Niagara and the Welland Hope Center. So thank you, Welland, and the surrounding area, and anybody that came out from anywhere, really. Brampton Batman, Knight Rider, and those girls that you had the picture with, I thought they had the best costume of the night.
Oh, me too. The diner. They were my absolute favorite zombies that I saw there as well.
They're new to Welland too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're new to Welland.
Yeah, they've only been here a couple of years. Their first year was this year.
No, Niagara College.
They're my family group #1 prize. Those girls and the guy. Mm-hmm.
Niagara College, probably Niagara College students, I would assume, if they're new to town. But yeah, that's awesome. Any ideas on totals for?
I think we collected just over 600 pounds of food. So, plus we gave $1,500 to the Hope Center as well. So,
yep,
not bad. Well done, Welland. Well done.
5-6 hours. That's the live stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Well done to the entire crew at the Welland Zombie Walk. Steve, Brad, James. And all the sponsors and all the fans that came out as they do every year. And any surprise guests yet for next year?
Yeah, already working on it. Definitely have something in the works. I'll say this much. It's a huge franchise. And
when Diesel's coming, it's Fast and Furious.
Vehicle from this franchise might be screen used.
Screen used?
Screen used.
Fast and the Furious. It's Dom Toretto's car. And Vin Diesel's is coming because he can't get any other work now. All right. So speaking of work, oh my God.
He's hoping for Riddick 3 or 4. Or
he is waiting for both of those, honestly. I know what my 5th was, and it didn't even make it in there for some reason. I'm going to play it now, though, because it was supposed to play. Let me just move up a little bit here. Make sure I'm in the right spot. Because I put one in, and then remember I was like, oh, am I missing? That was it. It felt bad. I'm like, oh, Henderson scores. 72 Summit Series. 50 years ago? 50 years ago.
Over 50 years now?
No, 50 years. It was the 50-year anniversary just a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we talked about it on the radio show. So we're about to do Steve's 5-second movie review that we do every week. Steve's reviewing the movie Hellraiser this week. But before we do that, I want to take this time out to say, folks, listen, I get it. Like, this time of year is tough. You got Thanksgiving. People are back in school. prices of everything are going through the roof and you're looking to save money where you can. Well, listen, you want to save some money without sacrificing the services that you're getting. This time, we're talking about your internet and your home phone. You don't want to pay those big prices that all those big companies are asking for, but you also don't want to get, less than superior service that you get from some of these other companies that offer you the same services for cheaper. If you don't want to sacrifice any services, but still save some money, do yourself a favor. Go over to docnet.ca. You see it right over Steve's head up over there. Go to docnet.ca. Talk to Tony over there. Tell him that Zeus and the Wellandwingnut from RatG TV sent you. And get yourself some high-speed internet at a price that's not going to break your bank. Hey, you're going to save some dollars too. They've got home phone, internet, and they serve all around Ontario and many parts of Canada. If you're looking for DocNet in your area and you want to know if they service you, go to docnet.ca, plug in your address, and they will let you know for sure. Folks, save yourself some money this holiday season. Go to docnet.ca and have DocNet connect the world to your home. Woo. I didn't even write that down. That was a good one. Anyways, as I pat myself on the back for that great advertisement, I've only been working on them for 3 or 5 years now. Steve, you watched the movie Hellraiser. We talked about it a little bit earlier. You seemed thoroughly impressed with what you've seen. Who is this new pinhead that we got?
Yeah, a good journalist would have their name, but I was very pressed for time today.
Okay, all right, I get it. I will look it up for you. How about that?
Yeah, as I'm Googling it here.
Yeah, we're both doing it. It was like, who can get it first? The new pinhead is Jamie Clayton.
Jamie Clayton, yeah.
She plays Hellraiser, as did Doug Bradley before her. And
we all mentioned the other guy.
Right.
That movie was atrocious.
Right. Which rhymes with supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Just the end of it. Just the last part.
Right.
Anyways, so folks, if this is your first time watching, what the hell's the matter with you? But with what we do here with Steve's 5-second movie review is pretty self-explanatory. Steve takes a movie, we give him 5 seconds, and he gives us his best review of said movie in those 5 seconds. King Kong Bundy would love this segment. Just saying. 5. That's a deep cut. Anyways, Steve, are you ready to review this movie?
I'm ready.
All right, well, folks, in that case, it is time for Steve's 5-second movie review by Steve. Yeah. Yes, hands. Lizard face. Madonna face. Al Jolson face. No, don't do that. All right, buddy. So what we're going to do, we're going to put 5 seconds on the board. Are you ready for this review?
I'm ready.
All right. The 5 seconds are on the board. Hi, techie here. If you're ready, you may begin now.
Go watch the new Hellraiser movie. They have such sights to show you.
That seems like an insider deep cut.
Yeah, if you're a fan of the franchise, for sure, you know the tagline. We have such sights to show you. It was good. I'm going to give it a 4.5. I thought the beginning could have flowed a little better.
Yeah,
but finished strong. Great movie all around. Gore, story, acting, just a phenomenal job by everybody involved.
Damn, dude. So you've given some really good scores lately. We had Black Phone was a 5, got a 4.5 here. I mean, geez, this is the year to be going out and looking for movies, I guess, especially for you. Now, where does this rank for you in the Hellraiser series?
So I was chatting with Steve, who I do two separate heads. He's done all our artwork for us, 95% of our artwork for us, and he was watching it, and I was watching it. Actually, saying he's like, I'm watching the new Hellraiser movie. I'm like, I'm watching it too, fucking. And we compared afterwards, and we both agreed that it is definitely hard to make an argument that this is not the best movie in the franchise.
Wow.
I mean, Doug Bradley to me is still the epitome of Pinhead. There'll never be another Doug Bradley to play that character. Great job by Jamie Clayton. Great job by all the Cenobites. Just a really good movie. Great cinematography. The gore was next level. It was good. It was good.
Wow. Sounds like I can't wait to watch it. I don't even dress up at the zombie walk. Well, that's great.
You're reporter number one.
I am.
Credits.
I am. And I don't get dressed up because I want to remain, that people know I'm black. That way, if there's going to be a death there, they can't kill me first anymore. Right. I have to be LL Cool J. I have to be the lone survivor. Listen, that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. All right, well, there you go. 4.5 out of 5 for Hellraiser there. Great review. Thank you, Steve, for that one there. And, maybe it's just time for us to get to a little bit of news now. That was not me peeing. Yeah, news time, buddy. So we start off the news every week kind of in a dark, dreary way. Oh, I might have accidentally deleted your picture there.
Yeah, I just noticed that too. I'm sure I have it here.
Because Steve every week starts us off. He's usually our Dr. Death, if you will. Steve is our Grim Reaper of souls, and every week when it comes to the news, Steve is the one that he starts us off with the sad news, and this week is no different.
Yeah, the Reaper did not take this week off. We lost quite a few legends and a few at least one up and comer, one very short life. So we're going to start with Coolio. Man. He was found in the bathroom at the friend of a home of a friend. He said that he had suffered cardiac arrest, I believe was the call. Just unfortunate. 59. Yeah, 59 years old. Of course, came up to fame with Gangster's Paradise, Fantastic Voyage. Gangster's Paradise profiled in the movie Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer, which was a huge monster movie, made almost $200 million, I believe.
And he saw a bit of a resurgence as well with TikTok, because there's all these TikTok videos that they use Gangster's Paradise as the background music.
Okay.
So he was having a bit of a resurgence there too. Just way too young.
Yeah, had a bit of a beef with Weird Al when Weird Al did the Amish Paradise, and it said he did an interview years later, and he's like, in retrospect, he goes, I should have realized what an honor it was to be parodied by Weird Al. Having Madonna, having Michael Jackson come before me, like who the fuck was I to say? He goes, I really. And then he kind of threw shade at his manager at the time. He's like, I wish my manager would have told me to calm the fuck down.
Well, really, he passed the buck.
Right.
I was a dick. I wish somebody. It's really for not telling me to stop being a dick.
My number one yes man's gonna fucking tell me how it is. But yeah.
But you know what though? He passed, so we're not gonna talk shit. But yeah. How about them Sabres? All right, Dr. Death. What do you got next?
And then country music legend,
huge,
90 years old. So great life. Loretta Lynn, of course.
coal miner's daughter. No, is that her? Yeah. No, that was Patsy Cline.
Yeah, that's Patsy Cline. Yeah.
Loretta Lynn was the one that used to always sing the songs about you think you're gonna take my man? Too fucking bad. Like, and I don't know the word. I'm sorry, I was never a big Loretta Lynn guy. I'm not a big
country fan myself.
The most Loretta Lynn that I knew was when I would watch Hee Haw with my grandfather, and she would be on. Yeah. And I knew she was an older legend at that point.
Yeah.
So, because like the Hee Haw gang was basically all older people for the most part, anyway. So
yeah, for sure.
But
definitely an icon.
An icon, and she was considered the bad girl of country music, right? Like she was a rebel. So all props to her, and a great long life. So yeah.
Well, speaking of rebels, the 1973 Oscars, the 45th Oscars, Marlon Brando was not there in person to accept his Oscar that year. And in place, he had this young lady, Saoirse Littlefeather.
Yes, Littlefeather.
Yeah. And she took the opportunity while accepting his Oscar to bring light to the situation of the portrayal of Native people in film.
Right.
And it was kind of an ugly moment for Hollywood, although not shown on camera on live television. John Wayne had to be restrained.
Well, and he even went up on stage afterwards and talked shit. He threw shade at her, and it took until it would, and it's one of the things that I thought about when she passed was just maybe a month, maybe 2 months ago. The Oscars finally fucking apologized to her for that moment, and John Wayne had never had. And honestly, fuck that guy. Like the more and more I hear about that guy and who he was in real life. Power is too much. Power is too much, especially back in those days with actors. Sure. Like nowadays, actors still get away with a lot, but I don't think they can get away with nearly as much as what they did back then. Sure. And that's a fucking great thing.
Yeah.
What's up, Mark Ambro? How you doing, brother? Hope to see you over at CWF Wrestlelution, October 30th. What a huge card coming our way, but we'll talk more about that later.
But as you're talking wrestling, we're going to talk wrestling. I said up and comer, and we lost Sarah Lee. Ryan, you want to tell us a little bit more about Sarah Lee?
Sarah Lee was a tough enough competitor. She won Tough Enough not too long ago, and we really haven't heard much at all about her since she won Tough Enough. Honestly, really young though. How old was she when she passed? Did you have that with you?
I don't have the age, no.
Extreme Rules is about to start. Well, I'll be watching Extreme Rules once the baseball game's over. It's a close game right now, 9-5 is what I'm showing, which is probably even past that point right now. But yeah, it was sad to hear about Sarah Lee. I know she was really young though.
Yeah, very, very young.
So
unfortunately,
mid-20s, Mark says. Mark being a wrestling fan as well. And that's sad to hear. And what else we got? Anybody else? I see up next you got something.
Yeah, that's my first story.
Okay. Well, you can go with it if you want.
All right. Well, we'll start with not sad news, I guess, per se, but sad news surrounding it. Obviously, the death of Bob Saget earlier this year. He's going to be releasing his latest movie at the Austin Film Festival called Daniel's Gotta Die. As my daughter Danielle enters the room.
Like, almost on cue.
Yeah.
Wait a second. What do we owe the great honor of Danielle being over?
Just visit, I guess.
Like, I need money. That's my kid. That's my kid. That's my kid. My kids would come over and be like, "We missed you so much. Do you have money?"
She missed her mom and dad. That's all.
Yeah, but when she's this close, her aim's a lot better.
She's raiding the pantry. Is what she's doing.
As kids are supposed to do. That's awesome. All right. Did you tell that first happy story, or did we cut you off with Danielle?
Yeah, no, that was my story.
Story, and you're sticking to it. Yeah. All right. Well, I had a story as well. I don't know if I'm in the right spot here, but turns out we might be getting a Wonder Woman 3. Patty Jenkins, who had just been taken off of the Rogue Squadron movie, she helmed Wonder Woman 1 and 2, Wonder Woman 1984, which was a huge box office flop. She said recently that she had finished writing the final scene of Wonder Woman 3, and even though she wrote this to be a trilogy, that she can't help but wonder where the character goes from here, letting us think that there might be a Wonder Woman 4 in the future, and that Gal Gadot is not indeed over. And just to tie on to this story, this past week, Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, and Ben Affleck, and Ezra Miller were all seen together, and there's talks at reshoots for the Flash movie with Ezra Miller. I have to assume, like we've seen Ezra Miller apologize for everything now. I have to assume that Discovery Warner Brothers is going to axe Ezra Miller as the Flash, and that they're going to incorporate somebody new at the end of that Flash movie. But you'll still have Affleck, Cavill, and Gadot moving forward. Just my guess. Who knows? But yeah, we will see. I just can't see Ezra Miller coming back. They've been too much trouble.
Yeah, yeah. You want to extend help to someone who's obviously suffering from mental illness, but it did carry on a lot longer than it definitely should have.
Oh, exactly. I mean, so we'll see. Maybe there'll just be a reboot to the Flash series with this movie, but who knows? You got some reboot news though.
Yeah, we just found out that another American Pie sequel is in the works.
Oh, it's a sequel, not even a reboot.
No, this is going to be a sequel. No word yet. It's very early in its inception as how many cast members may return, if any. Who knows? Like, do we need this movie? Like,
no, we didn't need Last Free.
Did the majority of the original cast, haven't they all come out and said that the majority of them are ashamed of a lot of the movies they've done?
We're good.
Like, yeah, I know said that he's not a fan of the Stifler character, and that's one of the best characters in that franchise. Even though he's a typical male, the worst male you want to see these days, a toxic male, I guess.
Yeah, they're definitely they just keep fucking the pie on this one. I mean, milking the cow.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've got their dick in the pie. I'm with you. I don't think we need this. There's no need or call for it.
And it hasn't been that long since we've had an American
Pie 17
sequel or whatever. Regardless of the ones that just had the name and none of the original cast members.
Yeah, see, and I thought that they actually won that one, but what do I know? I know nothing, Jon Snow. I know nothing indeed. You can go on with the next one there. I'm missing something here. Oh, no. Actually, I can go here. I'm just looking for my notes because I wrote this down somewhere, and I can't find the numbers anymore now. And you heard me writing the numbers down. And here we go. So this weekend in the box office, it looks like for the second week in a row, Smile will be smiling from ear to ear, if you will, as they're going to get their second straight win at the box office. Currently, they've got 16.8 million in this weekend already, just from Thursday and Friday. And they're looking at a total 2 week of 49 million that they've pulled in. Coming in second this week is the family movie Lyle Crocodile, which is getting a lot of rave reviews. And I look at this and I'm like, this is a movie I don't want to see at all. We had Richard Krause, who's a movie expert, on our radio show this week. And Richard had said the same thing, that he looked at this movie. He's like, oh, kids movie. And he said it's just one of those movies like, and I haven't seen these two movies yet, but I've been told that Paddington Bear Part 2 is one of the greatest movies ever made. Not greatest family movies, greatest kids movies. One of the greatest movies ever made. So now I got to watch a cotton bear movie. But Lyle Lyle Crocodile, Richard Crouch said was along the same lines. It looks like a kid's movie. It is a family movie, but it's an actually really well-made movie and worth the watch. And Lyle Lyle Crocodile came in with $12 million this weekend. So they're looking pretty good as well.
That's no small chunk.
Yeah. It was those extra like Bandcamp, Beta House, and Book of Love that were odd for the American Pie. Yeah. Oh, most definitely. When we went into the Stifler family history, yes, that was a problem. I mean, that's a problem for all, and that's just a little surreal, if you will.
It is. And when you have problems, usually, especially if you're famous, you like to put those problems on TV for everyone to see. The Surreal Life gave us season after season of entertainment, and it is back. The Surreal Life
What the deuce?
season, whatever it is going to feature Dennis Rodman, Stormy Daniels, and Frankie Muniz.
Dennis Rodman, Frankie Muniz, and Donald Trump's ex-prostitute?
Yeah.
Are we as a society actually past this type of thing, or is this still going to fly?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we know Stormy has no filter. Dennis Rodman definitely has no filter. Frankie Muniz, what's up, bud? Like,
Well, you know what? And I've seen Frankie on a podcast lately and stuff, and I mean, he seems okay. He seems a little bitter though with Hollywood because, you know, his career didn't keep going the trajectory he thought it would after Malcolm in the Middle and the Agent Cody Banks movies. But I mean, that's Hollywood. Hollywood.
yeah, child stars get chewed up and spit out like like everybody else, man.
People don't understand when it comes to acting and stuff like that. Hollywood and entertainment is like the world. It doesn't owe you anything. You could be having the greatest life ever and then get hit by a fucking car the next day. And that's just the way it is. And that's the way Hollywood is. You know, they love you one day and then the next day they forgot who you are. They're not taking your call. And yes, that's the business I'm trying to break into late in life. You know, but you know, life's about those disappointments, and a lot of times, some of those shit that falls through early in life, you can get a second go at later on. Much like one of your and my, I won't say idol, but someone we really look up to is Kevin Smith. We've seen him multiple times live. We've had our pictures with him. I'm still trying to get my tickets for Gotham Central on October 12th next week. It's my birthday, 4 days after that, to go see him, get comic book signed by him. You're going to go see him for the Clerks thing, Clerks 3 screening. So, but way back in, what was it, 2002, An Evening with Kevin Smith. I don't know if people remember those movies. They had two of them. He had said that he had made a documentary about the singer Prince. That, oops, that's not Prince. It's me. It's a Prince that never saw the light of day. And we never thought it would. But recently, Kevin Smith has come out and said that in some form or fashion, we will finally get to see this documentary that Kevin Smith did on fellow New Jersey native Prince. I'm excited to see it. I like Prince. I don't like all his music. Yeah. But I look at Prince as a songwriter, as a musician, and even though I'm not a religious person at all, the fact that he became as big as he was and then was a Jehovah's Witness on top of that, where he had to give away half his fortune to the church and stuff, I don't know why. Even though I'm not anti-religion, I'm pretty close to it, maybe. But I'm happy to listen. There's a lot of churches that do a lot of good things for food banks and things like that. So there's dark and light in every sect in society in the world. So it was just nice to see that Prince was giving back, even though he was fucking Prince. Not that he was fucking a Prince. I'm saying he's fucking Prince.
I think one of his greatest accomplishments or accolade was he was featured in Rolling Stone's top. They, Rolling Stone's famous for doing their top whatever lists. They had the top triple threats in music, which was sing, dance, play instruments.
Yeah.
And Prince was number one. The guy could shred on a guitar.
Yeah, makes sense. Totally makes sense. I've never really seen him dance too much, but I don't doubt it. Yeah. I don't doubt it. So that'll be cool to see. We know that Kevin Smith opened up his own theater in New Jersey. It was his childhood theater that he used to go to all the time. So they'll be playing a lot of movies there. That's what I'm thinking, where we're going to see this documentary, where it'll air first at least, will be at his own Smodcast theater. But yeah, that's my story. And it's got me going a little ape shit, if you will, as a fan.
We just found out that the title for the new Planet of the Apes movie will be Kingdom of the Apes, which will be released in 2024. Fourth installment of the new franchise, I believe.
It's hard for me because they were confusing for real. Like, just because of the Wahlberg ones first, which have nothing to do with these ones. And then these ones was like the James Franco at first, was it? Or did he come later?
Yeah, so the James Franco one, that was its the start of its own new universe, and which I believe this is the fourth one.
And that was the one with like Jonathan Lithgow, where he's going through.
Right. And Woody Harrelson has been in it.
And that's where I heard it got really good, was when Harrelson came in. Like the third movie?
Yes, third. I believe Woody Harrelson was the third. Yeah, so this is the fourth. Yeah, I've liked these movies. Wahlberg one. Yeah, that was tough.
I've heard a lot of it.
And for the time, I remember watching. Growing up watching the original ones.
Yeah.
So
I
like these movies.
Yeah, I've heard that these ones are really good though. These newest ones. I watched the first one with Franco, and then I think I watched the third one. Was the one with Lithgow, or was that the first one?
No, that was the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's the only one I really saw. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're all right though. They're just no. I hate Mark Wahlberg. It's just too close. It's just too close. You know who gets a lot of hate these days? That's a big actor and a big Marvel actor. Chris Pratt. And it seems to be because of his it's the religious stuff. And I don't get it. Like, whatever. It's his church, really, though. People are mad at his church more than they are at his religion. And that's neither here nor there. I can separate the two myself. But Chris Pratt, people have been kind of bitching about everything he does lately. And then people were bitching because he's playing Mario in the upcoming Super Mario movie. Now, we didn't know whether it was going to be live action or animated. The first trailer dropped for it. It's definitely an animated movie with Chris Pratt playing Super Mario. We got Jack Black as Bowser. And the first trailer looked, they called it a teaser trailer.
Right.
Remember when they started doing teaser trailers about 4 or 5 years ago? They were like 30 seconds long and just like, ooh. This was 2 fucking minutes long. This isn't this is a trailer. It was a fucking trailer. Just call it trailer number 1. Don't call it teaser trailer because it's not. But yeah, it sounded like Chris Pratt doing a Chris Pratt impersonation. I didn't hear any. Yeah. I didn't hear any inflections of "it's a me, it's a Mario." I don't think it would be racist for him to do an Italian accent, because you're doing an accent of people of a country, not of a race of people. I don't know if that makes sense, but and it's so weird because. See, you'd be able to do that with any European ones. You could do Russian, anyone from one of the Scandinavian countries or Eastern Bloc, no problem. But as soon as you start getting down a little farther south, you get the Southeast Asian. You can't do those accents. You can't do Chinese, Japanese, Korean, any of those accents.
Middle Eastern.
But then you start getting a little farther southeast. Into like Greece, Italy, and all that. And there's like, oh yeah, no problem. Oh, Africa? No. Back up to Mexico? we'll let you know. We'll let you know.
If it's funny.
Yeah. And even then, though, it's still like, it probably didn't work. It's just, to me, it's always been so weird. And I've always been on the soapbox. If it's not okay for one, it's not okay for any of them. But that's why I also say if it's okay for one, it's okay for all of them. But that's just my own personal opinion. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just how it kind of seems. But I would have liked to have heard Chris Pratt do "It's a me, it's a Mario." Like if it was me, that's what I would have done. I would have tried to impersonate the actual video game. I would have hired fucking Charles Martinet. I wouldn't have hired Chris Pratt. I would have hired the voice of Super Mario, play Super Mario in a fucking movie about Super Mario.
Yeah, it's not live action, so just get the voice.
I would have changed Luigi and Bowser, all those other ones, no problem. Mario's the only one that everybody knows that voice. It's a me, it's a Mario. We all know it, and if you don't know, you should know, and or not.
There's the other option.
And or
Yeah.
not. Yeah. That's, I don't know. That's the weakest segue I've ever done. Okay.
Hey, it works. We
talked about this beforehand.
Yeah, not a whole lot of buzz, I don't think, compared to the other series.
Oh.
Me as a Star Wars fan, and I know whatever, people can say whatever they want. Oh, fucking Wellandwingnut, he loves everything Star Wars, doesn't matter. But you know what? It is this is the Law and Order of
yeah, it is.
It's the Law and Order of the Star Wars universe. We always said kind of Rogue One was the Star Wars movie that didn't feel like a Star Wars movie at times. This is very much the same. And again, it's, I don't hate it. I told a lot of people, if you're going to start this show, because a lot of people I know personally were on the fence about it, guys I work with, and I told them, I said, you really have to watch the first 3 episodes in succession.
Yeah. Because
those first 3 episodes kind of tie the first part of the story together really, really well, I thought. And then since then, it's spoiler. The basic plot line, it's going to be a heist. It's a heist movie involving a payroll for the Empire. So,
wow. See, now I said this to you and Facebook user before the show started. I've watched every episode of Andor. I've watched the first episode twice. I have no fucking clue what's going on. I don't. They talk and talk and talk and talk. And I'm like, I've watched every movie that's ever been out in Star Wars. I've watched all the cartoons. I've watched everything that's up to date. And I'm like, what the Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie. I've said it a million times on here. I have no fucking clue what the hell is going on. My brain checks out like 3 minutes into the show almost every time. I don't mean to be that guy. And the first episode, it was a little bit longer, but my least favorite character on Rogue One was Cassian. And I had said that before because he's untrustworthy. In Rogue One, he kills one of his buddies right off the bat. And then he does in the very first episode, it's not his buddies, but you see him be cold right off the bat when he accidentally kills the one security guard, spoilers alert, and then he has to he shoots the other guy in cold blood. Yeah. He's not a good guy. He's never been a good guy. He had one redeeming one redeeming moment the entire movie of Rogue One, and that was the end where him and Jen Erso and why wasn't this Jen Erso show? That's that's the story I wanted to see. I want to see Jen Erso, and if you're going to give me Andor, you better give me the fucking robot that's his best friend, Alan Tudyk. SR
K2SO.
K2SO. Like, how?
Yeah, no, I get it for sure because when I remember hearing this announced, I was like, okay, yeah, all right. It's a heist. It's very, it's I described it as the Law and Order of of Star Wars verse. And, they kind of flash back as well. There's another subplot that's kind of going on. Spoilers again. He was separated from his sister very young. There was an incident on their home planet. I can't say, I guess it was their home planet, but the planet they were currently residing on. And it seems to be that seems like the underlining story here, where he's kind of looking for his sister. So
how do you feel about them going the old school Star Wars route though, and having aliens or whoever's speaking a different language, you have no idea what they're saying?
Yeah,
because that's harkening back to the original Star Wars.
Yeah,
there was no closed captioning letting you know what fucking Greedo was saying.
Yeah, and we have a 9-9 game with 2 out in the 8th.
9-9. Yeah, my thing keeps screwing up. Oh yeah, well I'm seeing 9-6 the top of the 8th. Bases loaded. Wow, Jays. Wow. So the Jays, their biggest problem that we've seen all season has been, that's how they scored. Wow, Bichette, they were going for that infield. There was a pop fly, and the center fielder and the shortstop collided with each other. Insane. All right. Sorry. Didn't mean to get off topic there, but damn. Mariners scoring play. Mariners just scored again. Is it still 9-9?
That's what I'm showing, but I could be behind.
Yeah, I'm watching it on TV, so I'm definitely behind. Now I'm trying to pull up the score.ca. Folks, if you're looking for sports scores around, and you're looking for the best site just for scores and no other bullshit, go to the score.ca. We don't get paid by them. That's just where I go.
But we could.
We could. I'd take it. I would definitely take it. Okay, so that's that. Sorry, I was checking. It's still 9-9, top of the 8th. All right, Jays. I mean, the Jays have to win this. It's a 3-game series. They lose, it's over. It's already over. Like 2 out of 3, yo. 2 out of 3. So we talked about Super Mario Brothers, and then we talked about Andor, and one of my favorite television sayings that's an insider thing. If you work in TV and you're doing a television show, there's one thing that all shows say, but this saying, another show made it their mantra that their fans actually started to pick up on, and that is 6 seasons and a movie. That is every television series goal. 6 seasons and a movie. But who made that popular, though? Well known to the public. It was a little show made by Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland called Community. Have you ever seen Community, Steve? Are you a fan at all? Probably not, eh?
I started when it came on Netflix.
Yeah,
I started to watch it. I was see it with shows with. I try and have a 3-episode rule.
Yep.
Give it at least 3 episodes, and I couldn't really get into it. And very, very much like The Office for me, I couldn't really get into that show. A lot of people have told me to skip the first season of The Office.
Oh yeah, because that first season of The Office is offensive, and that was even watching it back then when that shit wasn't offensive.
Right.
No, and I hear that. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I was a fan of the show. Chevy Chase, Donald Glover.
For sure. Yeah.
Everybody on this cast right here, the original cast, was fantastic, even though the majority of them hated Chevy Chase. Dan Harmon came out recently. They've done their 6 seasons. Now a movie's coming. And Joel McHale's back, Brie Larson, so many people. But we haven't heard from Chevy Chase or Donald Glover yet. And looks like they're in talks with Donald Glover right now. Dan Harmon saying that they're in talks with him. So he may be back. He doesn't know if Chevy Chase can come back. I lost the article here. But he had said something about, he had said something like when Chevy Chase was fired, Dan Harmon had either said or signed something so that Chevy Chase could never come back. So I think he wants him to come back now for the movie. So
that's funny.
Who knows? That was just the way I read the article.
Yeah.
I just wish I had it in front of me right here. But yeah, so I'm down for this. Listen, they've been saying 6 seasons and a movie forever. They got canceled in like I think their 3rd season or something like that, and they came back for like another 3, so they got their 6 seasons. But they didn't have Chevy Chase or Donald Glover for the last couple, and it just was not the same. They added Keith David and one of the Better Call Saul actors.
Okay.
Veteran actor. I forget who he is. You know him to see him, though. But, yeah. And they even added, oh, my God, I forget his name, the black guy from The Wire that just died in real life.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he was on it as well. So Brie Larson was on the show. There so many people on that show, and just a great show. I really loved it. And if you don't watch that show at all, and you just wanted to watch one episode that you can watch without having to know anything about anybody, watch The Darkest, I think it's called The Darkest World or The Darkest Universe. And this whole episode is just about the gang. They're all meeting up at 2 of the guys' house for a game of, I think, dominoes or something. And they order pizza. And the whole episode is about them. Who's going to answer the door to get pizza? And Joel McHale says, I'm going to roll a dice. If it's 1, you go 2, you go 3, so far through all of them. And for every one of those creates a new timeline for what could have potentially happened. It's like quantum physics on the most level. It is one of my favorite episodes of any show ever. So if you're going to watch that show, or you just want to watch one episode to see what it's about, I say watch the Darkest Timeline episode because it's fan-fucking-tabulous. And watch it on a Friday or a Saturday.
Yeah, because traditionally movies have always come out on a Friday.
The good ones.
Yeah. Ice Cube was on a podcast this week and took some time to talk about the Friday franchise. Of course, we've heard multiple reports throughout the years. One where he says that he offered Chris Tucker like $12 million. He said, "No, I don't want to swear and smoke weed on screen anymore. Personal beliefs." Yeah. Of course, we've lost a lot of cast members. Debo is no longer with us. John Witherspoon no longer with us. I think there's a couple other cast members that have since passed as well, if I'm not mistaken. But Ice Cube took some time to basically say, Warner Brothers has just rejected my second script. So
good. Listen, the last good Friday movie was the first Friday movie. Tell me I'm lying.
You mean the first Friday or
No, the first Friday.
So not next Friday.
No, not the next Friday.
Okay.
And not the Friday after that. Because wasn't that
Friday after next?
Friday after next. None of them. Especially the ones that didn't have Chris Tucker in them. And then we had Black Doug.
Well, you've completed the trilogy, regardless of how the cast worked out.
We don't need it. Like Ice Cube, you're cool and everything. I like you, especially in the gangsta days and fucking Boys in the Hood and shit like that. But
your son is the star now.
Yes, is he?
Nah.
He's trying. He's
been in some good movies.
Yes, yeah. He's been in good movies.
Yeah.
Has he been good? No, it's a valid question. I think he's okay. I think he's a very cool. And listen, I don't think I'm a great actor. I think he and I are at the same level. I think both of us can be like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I guess. So yeah, that's my gauge. If you're the same as me or worse.
What's that? Do we have anybody else? No. Okay, you're hired.
Wait. Can we get your dad to let us do a soundtrack? Okay, you're hired. I'm not saying that's the way it is, but that's the way it is. I'm just kidding. I have no idea. I'm just bullshitting. But yeah, that was the Friday story. And my last story that I have, Good Omens. Did you watch that at all on Amazon Prime?
No, I didn't watch this show.
Yeah, and Good Omens is a Neil Gaiman book, and the book is fantastic. The first season of Good Omens was okay. I love both these actors, though. Michael Sheen and David Tennant. David Tennant, best known as playing the 10th Doctor on Doctor Who. And Michael Sheen, I mean, he's been in everything. But my favorite movie of Michael Sheen, I don't know if you've seen this. This is my favorite Samuel L. Jackson movie, though, and it's called Unthinkable. Have you ever heard of that with him, Carrie Ann Moss, and Michael Sheen, where Samuel L. Jackson's an interrogator trying to find where Michael Sheen has hid all these bombs, these nuclear bombs around New York. And Samuel L. Jackson breaks every fucking international law for torture when it comes to trying to get Michael Sheen to say where these nuclear bombs are. It is one of the most, oh my God, movies I've ever seen.
What's it called again? I'll write it down.
It is called Unthinkable with Samuel L. Jackson. I'm telling you, if you want, like,
If
Steve,
you can't think of it, just message me later.
no, I will for sure.
Okay.
Unthinkable's the name. The Mariners tied up. Yeah, we saw that, praying for George Springer. Yeah, well, we're just Blue Jays injured, collision with Bo Bichette. Yeah, it's tough out there right now for the Jays. They need to win. Because if they win and they win a World Series this year, that'll be number 3. And if they win another one, that'll be number 4 for them. And who doesn't like to see a 4th installment of anything? That's the hardest segue I've ever done ever.
Yeah. I gotta. This is confession time for me because I
like these movies.
As big of a 80s action fan as I was, and I mean 90s too, you know, I like me a good action movie.
Yeah.
I have never seen any of these.
What? You've never seen Sylvester Stallone, Chuck Norris, Jason Statham, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terry Crews, Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bruce Willis, Jet Li, and sometimes Gina Carano when she's not being horribly offensive.
Right?
Eric Roberts was in the first movie. Eric fucking Roberts.
You know I love me some Eric Roberts. I only watched Human Centipede 3 for him.
I thought you were going to say the best of the best, but okay.
Hey, that was a great movie.
I'm not talking shit about the best of the best. Maybe the best of the best 3 I'll talk shit about. But yeah, so the Expendables. Expendables 4 coming our way?
Yeah, Expendables 4's it's going to be going into pre-production soon. Expect a fall 2023 release.
I mean, okay.
And Stallone did say 4th and final.
Didn't he say 3rd and final?
Probably. We need to
yeah, I honestly don't know.
We need to look that one up.
But probably. I'm going to say probably he was saying that. Good Omens 2, we talked about it. And then we didn't say what the story was. Good Omens 2. We're going to see a season 2 that's going to be coming out summer 2023. That's how much we cared about that show. I liked it. I liked the first season, but I have to admit, the book is so much better. The book is so much better, which is usually the case. But
yeah, you know, there was a story, I didn't have it included here, but apparently the director of Doctor Sleep, the sequel to The Shining, said that he wanted to go right into a Dick Hallorann prequel, and the studio was like, no. I mean, and I gotta say that I thought that would be a really great movie. I would have liked to have seen that, and I was trying to think of who I would have liked to see play a young Dick Hallorann, and the guy from The Wire. I was thinking, unfortunately, passed.
The black,
yeah. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. And I thought a very young Forrest Whitaker would have been great.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm looking for that. I think it was Kevin something, his name. Kevin Johnson, maybe?
Yeah, I can't remember.
No.
He had a very unique name. He was a jazz, wasn't he a jazz musician?
It's Michael K. Williams. I'm like, it's not that.
You're talking about from
normal name.
I'm
His
talking
name's
about
Michael K. Williams. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was on Community as well.
Yeah.
Great actor, honestly. Like I really liked that.
Yeah, he was great. He was in Boardwalk Empire. He was fantastic as Chalky.
Oh, see, I never watched that one, and a lot of people have and told me that. See, shows like that, it's hard for me because you're either going to be like this great show like Dexter for me that, and when I say great, I mean for me personally,
right?
Well, I'm going to like it, and it's the same feel as Dexter, or it's going to be one of those shows where it's everybody loves it, and I'm the one person who doesn't like it, like Breaking Bad or The Sopranos.
Yeah.
And people love those shows, and I get FOMO. I get the fear of missing out. I want to like those shows too, but it just doesn't work for me. But and you know which other one? And I don't think Michael K. Williams was in it at all, but I could not fucking get into it all because it fucking creeped the shit out of me, and everybody loved it. Oz was fucked.
Yeah, I never. That was back, when we couldn't binge shit, and so you had to either watch it in, when it was on or in reruns, which it was for a very long time. That was one of those shows that I remember seeing a few episodes and thinking, "Oh, this is pretty good," but I never got into it. I can't say I ever watched it consistently. Or
did you watch Sons of Anarchy?
I did finally. Yeah.
Did you watch all of it?
I did. Yeah.
So Oz for me was Marilyn Manson and Juice.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like that. And I have no problem with gay sex. I have a problem with gay rape, or I have a problem with rape, period. And Oz, every week somebody was getting raped. It took me so long to see J.K. Simmons as fucking as J. Jonah Jameson, but I was so happy that now when I see him, I see J. Jonah first before I see. I even forgot his name in Oz because I never watched all of Oz because it was so fucked up. Like, I mean, it was one of those shows that you watch it every week and you're like, oh my god. Like Game of Thrones was turning into that to me. It wasn't that it was bad. It was just every week I was like, oh, like holy fuck, that took so much out of me, and it's a fucking show. Yeah. That Walking Dead, I don't know why I stopped watching Walking Dead. It wasn't because it didn't have that effect on me, but I stopped caring. Walking Dead started to feel like a chore. Does that make sense? And I don't mean like, and I know it was different for you, but for me, I felt like I was watching it because I had to. Same with a lot of these CW.
I've done that with shows. Just I'm watching it. My thing is, I have a hard time not knowing how stuff ends once I've committed so much, and I will watch it. Like I fucking finished Lost for fuck's sakes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you should have went with 24, dude. I told you from the beginning. I think in the end, I won out on that one. I got to say, you got the first 2 seasons, maybe, but I won out in the long run. I think Jack Bauer. Not like finding out that Jack Bauer wasn't just dead the entire time after 8 seasons or whatever. That gave us a win there. That gave us a win. And I will take another season of 24. I do not give a fuck. Kiefer Sutherland just came out recently, maybe the last month or two, in an interview and said that Jack Bauer, that's a series that will never die for him. He's like, anytime they ask him to come back, as long as the script's right, he will come back. And I'm down for it. I really am. Oh, stolen base. I'm really behind on everybody, but the Jays just stole a base, bottom of the 8th. Yeah.
I just put money on for this game to go into extra innings.
Well, good call. Good call. It's the bottom of the 8th, though, so we'll see. There's a man on.
Anything can happen.
I'm showing a man on second, but I'm my feet's a little messed up and really behind. But yeah, that seems to be it for stories. You got anything else there?
That's it, man. I am just, got a couple more events for the end of the year, and We got Frightmare in the Falls coming up that I'll be at, and
Nice.
Jim Jeffries in November. And I gotta say, I am pretty fucking stoked because I missed out the last three times.
I couldn't tell.
I got Chappelle tickets.
Oh, nice. Sweet. Right on.
Yeah.
I hope he's funny for you.
Yes, me too. I hope it's not too preachy.
Because the last few years, he had one good special out of the last like 6 I've seen. And the other ones have all been either him being too preachy or him being too holier than thou and him thinking he's untouchable, which he kind of is. But I mean,
and tickets were atrocious.
Well,
but it was one of those bucket list things for me. So,
well, hopefully, you have a much better time at Jim Jeffries.
I'm sure I will.
I don't know why, but I just want to play this before we go. It just made me think of. I don't know why. I just saw it there. It's been a while since we played the Wolverine middle finger. Well, I hope you enjoy both those shows. Of course, Kevin Smith as well. You got coming up, and we're in that time of year. Baseball playoffs, football, hockey's about to start. You and I are in a hockey pool together. I'm in another one as well. Fantasy football's going. Basketball's about to start.
And my team is. I just lost one of my starting running backs.
Oh shit!
Like Javonte Williams out for the season.
Oh damn. Well, I mean, I want to say I feel bad for you, but this is the way it goes. This is the way it goes for all of us. We've been doing this for decades, so. But yeah, that's going to do it for us here. I hope everybody has a great holiday weekend with your family and loved ones. Whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or whether you celebrate Happy Genocide Day, whatever it may be for you.
Columbus Day is what it's called in the States.
Columbus Day, yeah. But that's my difference is when we have Thanksgiving, we're not celebrating Christopher Columbus. So I'm not like, I mean, we weren't much better, but still, I just want to say, for me, Thanksgiving is about family. It's not about us taking over the territory here or the horrible atrocities that have been done, but more about celebrating time with my family and giving thanks for what we have around us. But for whatever it is for you, I wish you the absolute best. And to my partner there, Steve, the Wellandwingnut, I hope you have a good one as well. Facebook user 567342. Haven't heard from her in a while. Hope she's okay.
Yeah.
Hope she didn't get too much.
She's supposed to be getting me supper, but I don't think that's happened.
I think she got into the Jack Daniels.
I think she got into a TV show.
Oh, could be. Either way, from the Wellandwingnut, your boy Zeus, wishing you all the absolute best for the rest of this weekend. Hope you have a good one.